order. Pledge of allegiance. Who's here tonight? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, just like my chair, I got this long one.
You can pop it up.
Oh, this one will come.
Oh, you want to switch?
No. I'll just get Lindsay's now later. The oath of office has been already administrated to Ken Mueller, so welcome to the
Thank you.
council, or back to the council.
Back, yeah.
Roll call,
Mayor Pete Pedersen,
here.
council members Norris Johnson,
Here.
Dave Dillon,
Here.
Ken Mueller,
Here.
Lindsay Larson. Lindsay is absent.
Approval of the agenda, I'll entertain a motion.
So move. Second.
Any additions?
We will have that addition of the water meter contract that Damien just dropped off and reviewed the contract and found nothing wrong with the contract.
In underneath
Could
old
put,
business?
or put that under Public Works.
Okay.
We have Public Works D.
Okay, anything else?
I have two under unfinished business. If we could look back at what you brought up is the Jim's disposal, the situation with the porta potties that were vandalized.
Under old,
Unfinished, yeah.
I don't see on, but there it is. And anything else?
Rec Fest update, where do you want to put that?
Put it under unfinished. Okay. Anything else? Did we get a motion to approve the agenda
You did.
as amended? No? With the amendments included in it?
No, we haven't done that.
Okay,
I'll move for the amended agenda.
move for the amended agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the amended agenda? All in favor of the amendments added? I'm sorry, Kim?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Norris, yes. Now, approval of the agenda as amended. Any further discussion? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of minutes of June 21st. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval?
Second.
Any changes in it? Norris, this is where,
Yeah,
underneath the library agreement
yep, I
that you talked about.
talked to Tammy and we're gonna, she's going to have a conversation with the library board and we'll see.
So in essence, you'd like to repeal that decision at this time? Because we okay it, so if we're gonna
It is
change it, we
okay.
have to repeal it. And that's why I
Let me
sent it on
have
to
that
Norris to look
discussion,
at.
yeah, let me have that discussion with them first, and then I can bring that discussion back to council
But
on changing some of the
then we should
language.
appeal tonight, last week, and take that off the agenda. So all you gotta do is make a motion to appeal it.
Why don't I just talk to them and then bring it back next month?
Yeah, but we have to appeal this tonight's meeting, and then it'll be brought back next month.
We could amend the contract.
Amend it that you are gonna talk to them, that's all you're gonna say.
No,
Because we passed the motion to,
we did. But if you want some language changes, then it would be an amendment to the agreement that's already in place.
it'd be a new
So-
amendment.
Correct.
So we have to get rid of this motion that we made last week. Correct, Damien?
Oh, I don't think so.
You need to back up. What are you asking to change?
Okay,
They want to change some language in the agreement.
With the
'cause-
library?
For the
Yeah.
library agreement,
Okay,
just because they don't want some of the materials that the library is planning on putting in there.
okay. And you have a meeting with the library coming up, or the personnel with the library coming up?
I've been talking to their director in Cambridge,
Okay,
and she sent us some policies that said it's their freedom to put whatever they want in there. So we were hoping that we could add some more language to the agreement.
okay. And was it the June 21st meeting that was
Yes.
approved?
yes.
Yeah.
So we have
The
to,
contract. So the contract that was presented was approved at the June 21st meeting.
Correct.
But since that point in time, you guys have learned of some material that they intend to use that you find objectionable.
Correct.
yes.
Okay. So at this point in time, are they starting construction? Are they starting the installation of that material yet?
No.
Okay, you're gonna be meeting with them next week?
Yes.
Okay. You don't need to repeal the contract, just simply have that meeting, contact me the week after, let me know if they're gonna have an issue with the changes that you wanna have made, and if I need to
Okay.
draft a letter notifying them of a cancellation or something along those lines, I can do that.
Okay.
But we haven't signed that contract.
Yeah, you don't have to, yeah, and if you haven't signed it yet, that's fine, the council's approved the draft, but if things have happened since that point in time that are gonna require changes, I can work with them on making those changes, and then bring the amendment back to the July meeting.
Okay.
Or I mean the August meeting, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, the agreement hasn't been signed yet, so
okay,
it's on hold.
okay.
Okay.
So, and then the other, in the approval of the June 6th minutes, and the reason I didn't send them back in, I didn't get the amendments that were added in the, at our meeting and approved when Damien wasn't gone. And it's not stated correctly in here, so I think we have to go back and look at the minutes on that and update whatever Dave's motion was back then, according to,
We did update the minutes.
no, they're the same minutes as you sent out to me that was in here. So the minutes were not updated according to what was amended at the 21st meeting. So we have to do some amendments.
We did because all three of us listened to it and we amended the minutes accordingly to exactly what was said.
Not what Dave's motion was. You gotta reread it and look at it, so that should be amended. According to Dave's motion at that time. Cause his motion, stated to say whatever Damien said. And, he was okay with what Damien said. And then my letter was supposed to be part of the motion. And the reason mentioned of the signing of the agreement was also, had to be in there. The reason I signed the original agreement. And that's all, and I listened to the tape 3 times, so that has to be amended from that standpoint. So if the staff is okay with amending it according to Dave's motion, then I seek to have that as part of the amended minutes. And then we're not gonna do anything on the library, correct? Damien?
No,
Right.
not tonight.
We're not.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to amend the minutes according to the video of last week's meeting.
For June,
Last month's meeting.
you're talking about the June 6th,
Huh?
June 6th meeting?
No,
The June 6th minute.
but it has to, you have to amend the June 6th minutes, but you also have to amend these minutes here, the June 21st minutes. Because it has to go back to there. Because that's what was the amendment on the minutes. And then it has to be published in the June 6th minutes. So I'll entertain a motion to amend it as was stated on the video.
Well, we don't have that in front of us, so how, I don't know how we can act on it.
Well, that's what we're,
We'll bring that back next month,
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
for the June 6th meetings and this minutes, but it'll be amended according to
I
the
don't know
video.
what section you're talking about to amend in this month's meeting.
Right down at the end where we amended the June 6th minutes. We amended them at the 21st meeting. And so all you gotta do is go listen to the video, and if you want me, I'll come in and listen to it with you.
No, there's three of us, we can handle that.
Okay,
I mean, all three of us listened to it already.
Okay.
I mean, and put in there
okay,
what you talked about, because what you talked about was you wanted at least one and multiple employees, mayor and one employee attend mediation, no mention of the letter he read.
huh?
That's what you said.
No, that is what Dave's motion was, that he had no problem,
I've just got the discussion of what you said.
but go by the amendment. Just listen to it and go by the amendment. And we move on from there. And then bring it back for signature at that time.
Maybe you'd like to write out what you want it to say.
Okay, I'll,
Okay,
Yeah,
that would work?
and I'll send it to you what I hear.
Okay,
Okay? So it'll be amended after I send that to Tammy. And the council okay with that, to amend both those minutes.
okay.
Yep,
Can I have a motion on that to amend it?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Pete votes yes. Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion passed. I'll entertain a motion to approve the June 21st minutes as will be amended.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Norris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approving bills in second quarter report. I'll entertain a motion.
Also move.
I'll second.
Any discussion or anything, anybody have any questions about? I don't have any questions about the bills, but, there was 217 is the correcting fund, right? It is,
it's one of them,
yeah.
216,
But it-
217.
Yeah. If you look at what was purchased from Amazon for the library, it's coded under 217. Five places are coded under 217 in the first.
What are you The fund number is the first number, and there's no 217 there.
No, over where the account, invoice account says 217 on,
At the very end.
yeah.
That's not the fund number, that's the object code,
Oh, okay,
okay?
because that is what I was told before, so then there's no problem there.
No problem there.
Okay, we had a motion? Correct?
We have a motion by
Motion and
Ken,
second.
second by Dave.
Ken, how do you, further discussion?
Aye.
Ken, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete, yes? Norris?
Aye.
Motion carries. Public hearing? There are none. Open forum? On open forum, we have a Travis Johnson here. You wish to speak?
Yes, sir. Come over.
Just let them know we're people too, and we're just here to help and serve them. So protecting your constitutional rights and freedoms is very important to me. I've had many conversations with people about that. With the business background and business mind, I'm a numbers guy. Budgets and how your taxpayer dollars are spent and used are very important to me. I like to look at that stuff. I like it broken down. I look at it with a magnifying glass, and I understand that every dollar gets spent came from somewhere and also didn't get used somewhere. So when it comes to money, I'm crazy about it as far as looking at it and why is it going here. I want to be able to explain to both sides. This is why it went here, whether you agree or not, we still need to have that conversation as to why. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I know it said you had a couple minutes, so I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but again, I really appreciate the opportunity just to introduce myself. Now hopefully you have a face with the name. I did leave some info over there if that's okay. Please take it, read about it, reach out to me. I'm willing to talk to anybody, call me, text me, email me. Flag me down. If you see Squad 10 from Milaca County, that's me. Flag me down. And I can't talk about campaign stuff while I'm on duty. And so if you ask, I will tell you that up front. But if you want to talk baseball or if you have a concern in the community, I'm more than happy to address that when I'm on duty. So thank you again very much. Appreciate it. You have a great night.
We have one more request for open forum. Dana?
Good evening. I'm Dana Hillcrest. My maiden name is Dana Olson. So to give you some context, my parents are Rick and Lynn Olson. So we've been in town a long time. I haven't been here my whole life, but practically my whole life. I keep trying to escape, but it ends up that I love Milaca, and I can say that proudly now. The last time we made our move back was in 2007, so we've been back since then. And my favorite spot in Milaca, well, my second favorite, because my favorite spot is my backyard, but my second favorite spot is Rec Park. And I have been walking my dog there faithfully every day since being back. And in the summertime, in 20 below, it doesn't matter. And when I say every day, I'm exaggerating, but quite a bit. So my request today is, I would like to request that some of the wildflowers along the river not be mowed. I've noticed that there's beautiful wildflowers. I am crazy about plants, and they grow wild there. And every year I see that they are mowed down, and I believe it happens right before Wreckfest. And I get that because when they are mowed down after my heart breaks, I also recognize that it is a great view. This is the area that I'm specifically talking about, if I can approach the map behind you, Tammy.
Yeah, I've got this map,
Okay.
because this is a map that we have with the county, the buffer. And this is the area in our agreement with the county.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of point this out real quick to the council, that it's this really light blue area. And it's not the entire area, but it is this light blue area. And our contract with the county expires in 2023 for this buffer zone. It was a 10-year agreement. And we have a lot of buckthorn, and we have a lot of weeds within that area, and that was the reasoning why those were taken down, to try to control some of the buckthorn that is there. So that was one of the reasons why those were mowed, just to help control.
Is it mowed now, Ken?
No,
No, I didn't think so.
What's the area you're talking about?
Yes, so there's an error in my summary. It says the east side bending north bank, but it's really,
yeah, no.
this is where's the footbridge? Can you help?
The second.
Is it north of the footprint?
Oh, it's not on the, okay,
No.
so it's north of the footbridge, and then it just bends slightly towards
Yeah.
Key Road, so that actually becomes the south bank.
Yeah,
So that should say south
it
bank.
only ends up coming up
It's right, it's on the map.
to here. This is the end of it, and that's the end of it. So it's only this section here, and
Yeah.
it's a very small
Yes,
piece.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
just gonna
So is it north of
show council.
the opening?
So it,
Which opening are we talking about?
There's one big opening
This is
that everybody
footbridge here.
pitches by.
Yes, it's where,
yes.
a little bit.
All
So
north
is
of
it-
that, we don't mow, that's all
So
woods.
this
Yeah, we
is
don't
the
know
area,
that.
it's this
Huh?
really
We
light
don't
blue.
Okay, so then we're not talking about the same area? It's, you know where the footbridge?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry,
it's just
the
into this
footbridge?
north of the bridge.
And if you were coming from the cemetery back to the park and you would take a left on the path,
Yeah.
it's that whole section and it goes all the way.
Oh, so it's everything north of the footbridge.
Not everything.
Yeah.
Well, then it goes into a big forest of buckthorn, which
Yeah.
is a whole piece upon itself. But I'm primarily concerned about north of that footbridge, all the way to that second opening, which is farther north,
So that's.
where you hit the
steps down.
ballparks. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But
yes.
isn't most of that, aren't there just like a couple openings cut?
Yeah, there's
There-
just a few openings
there-
that are cut
yes.
down to it.
And then there's a
That's just
couple.
from-
Soil and water allowed for 4 openings to be cut in that section.
So you're worried about the stuff between the cuts, keeping that wild?
Yes, yes. And so I've identified 16 different wildflowers. There's sweet scented Joe Pye weed, bee balm, coneflower, evening primrose, fleabane, sweet goldenrod, one type of milk thistle, but 2 types of milkweed, both swamp and common, oxeye daisy, yarrow, you have a northern wild raisin bush in there. There's landcress, marsh, wood, wart. There's bindweed, also called morning glory, and there's a glorious Jerusalem artichoke growing there.
And have you cross-checked those with the noxious weeds?
There are, what I identified is there's a lot of Kentucky bluegrass in there that has grown up, so that is an invasive species. There's a little bit of buckthorn in that area, and there was, I can't remember, I did recognize another invasive species down on the bank. And it's something loose, I can't remember, loose tooth or something.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got my noxious weed book and I'll take that down there.
Yeah, so my proposal or my request is that not be mowed, and that money that is usually, and in here I did note that there are some native sedges in there. I didn't identify the grasses, but I would like to divert the cost of mowing that area and just do some hand picking and killing of the buckthorn that's in there, but that would be my request, that the city, in light of all the development that's been done in the park, that they consider preserving this piece.
Because
Thank you.
wasn't it 2 years ago we mowed it completely down because there was so much buckthorn in there?
And we pulled a lot of it out.
Yeah. And we still don't mow anything south of the bridge, do we?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And Dana, are you associated with the county soil and water at all? Okay, so you're just a citizen who's concerned about
Yes.
the flowers there?
Yes.
Okay,
That's,
okay.
okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
Okay, moving on, update of airport road funding. You have a letter in there that we did make. Do you know which bill that is? It's just FY,
Let me get to that.
FY 23? Or do you know what bill?
That's fiscal year 23 is
Yeah,
what that
their
means.
appropriations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do you know what bill
I
it is?
do not. He
It'd be
didn't
nice
give me
to know
that.
what bill it is
Yeah.
to look at it. But anyway, that's in there.
That's really good news.
Yeah,
That's really good news.
well, yeah, but it's first round and
Yeah,
I,
that's
Yeah.
farther than you usually get.
yeah. Okay, and then, update on the county? Anything?
I don't have anything on the county.
Update on, oh, that's the state. Update townships,
No activity lately.
how's the road going?
I just drove out there yesterday. It looks really good right now.
It was pretty bumpy yesterday, I thought.
I didn't think so. I've seen worse when I went out there.
Okay. Okay,
Of course, I was in a truck, so.
resolution 2228, accepting donations.
Oop, you missed 22, 27.
Oh, I'm sorry. Resolution 2227, assessing mowing costs.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Are we gonna have the same ones each time? Oh, okay, okay. Any further discussion? Pete votes yes. Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolution 2228, a resolution accepting donations.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussions? Norris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete? Yes. I'm moving resolution 2229 down where it's compared to 2222 later in the agenda.
Moving it down under H.
At the end of the agenda.
Well, mine was G, it's probably H now.
Huh?
I had the wrong letter.
Yeah. But I'll bring it up when I move it down. Ordinance number 494, chapter 90, amending sections of ordinance of the city of Milaca, second reading. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
Going over, it, Damien wasn't here for the first reading. Is there any other changes, because there's a few things that I had, because I was the one that brought this up with Damien. And there's a couple changes that I think have to be added or made there. I did get one complaint as far as the meeting notifications and sending out the agenda. That, do we send out the agenda? Underneath B, written notices are mailed out to anyone who has filed a written request to notice of the special meetings or any meeting, you know. And this person, well, it was Jeff from the paper. He was wondering why he's not getting the full agendas anymore like he used to.
I'm not involved in mailing.
Well, I'm just saying,
You should be getting him, he's on the list.
huh?
He's on our email
Getting him,
list.
he's on the list like
He
everybody
says
else.
he doesn't get any more, the agendas anymore, and he didn't get them this week. Is it a full agenda?
Then he needs to call in and see if his email has changed,
Okay,
okay?
He's
But is
on,
it-
he's on the list, so if you guys are getting it, he should be too.
Yeah.
but he's getting the full packet.
Same thing we're getting.
Oh, okay, because he told me he wasn't. And then, that's why I put that they would.
Did you have him check his spam maybe?
I will.
Yeah, that would be a good idea,
And he did,
because,
he did
just in
switch his
case-
email.
well, he switched his email?
A while back, maybe he didn't notify you, because
No, then he wouldn't have, because if you,
I got his new email, then I'll get it to you. But should it say something in here that they will receive the full packet if they request?
They are notified, it's already in there.
Okay.
Anybody who has a standing request.
Okay.
We-
And then, the other thing is, under the agenda, how long does that stay online? The agendas?
Mary, how long do you have them on there?
They're, always there, I can turn them off, or.
Okay.
Pardon me?
I can turn them off, or I can remove them, but I don't have any directives to take them from the website.
But there have been ones being taken from the website. And they weren't available, and I got a list of all of them.
Are
That
they
was,
from this year?
yeah,
Yeah, that was, I had accidentally turned off the meeting that they were originally with. I turned those meetings back on, they're still all accessible.
but it happened on 3 different occasions.
Yes, and now they're all accessible.
Okay, the one meeting that is not even on there is the June 6th meeting. It's not even posted as an agenda if you look at it. The June 6th meeting is not even on there as having a meeting that day. But they did come up just this last week as accessible. So I think there should be some ruling in this on how long those agendas and the minutes and the videos stay online. And there's no mention of that anywhere in this ordinance.
Guys, I'm just curious, they're just hyperlinks, right? You go to the website, you go to city
Right now-
council, you click on agenda minutes, and then you click on the year, and they can bring up the month.
There's
Yeah.
like 15 different spots on the website where you can put an agenda. I've been having, underneath government in the drop-down, city council meeting schedule. You click that link, it shows all the meetings this year. Under each meeting is the agenda or revised agenda, as the case may be. They're all there. I can duplicate these efforts both in the calendar and in the agenda. Ideally, one spot would be perfect,
Yeah,
but I can put them in the calendar as well as the whole agenda page as well.
Well, I'm talking about going to government.
Yep.
Going to city council.
Yep.
Then drop down to agenda.
Yep.
And that's where I've been searching. And that's where they were missing for a while. On 3, and June 6th is not even mentioned on that one.
Yep, I can add that. It was under the council meeting schedule. It was available there, but it was not added as a line item on that page you're referring to, and I can correct that.
But at one time it was on there.
No, it wasn't. I wouldn't have taken it off, okay?
Okay.
So,
Okay. But then I think we should have how long those are posted and available to public.
well, I think they're always, once they're up there, unless you affirmatively delete them, they should be up there for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
So that they don't come off after 3 or so.
It would depend on the website, and it would depend on the hosting, and it would depend on IT issues that we can't control. I mean, I presume that the website developer or format that you guys have is similar, if not identical, to most other cities. And you can typically, once you upload them, they're there, unless you do something to remove them. Now, if the website server somehow on their own goes in and deletes data that is uploaded after a certain amount of time, I guess we could try and find that out. I'd be surprised if they did, but.
I think the important thing to, I can put this on the website in the council area, that all agenda packets are here at City Hall. And if somebody wishes to view them, they can come to City Hall and get a copy. You know, it doesn't have to be only on the website, they can.
Oh, that's fine with that, but do we have to keep it on the website? Should that be in the ordinance is my question, Dave.
No, you don't have to have that in your, because that can change, quite frankly, over time. You don't have to have the length of time that's in there. Really, it's gonna be the data practice retention period that's gonna govern that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. That one I had a question. And then it probably, down on, let's see, 3018C, that is, I also put in there that, having the person, any person request to get the agenda, but if it's handled one place, then I'm okay with that. And then we did talk, Damien, about the committees being appointed.
What section are you referring to specifically, the number?
Oh, the committees?
Yeah, you.
30.01. We were gonna add volunteer committees such as the Trails, Rec Fest, other things that we can add as Got Time, Friends of Park, you know.
So you just want me to add a bunch of names under something?
Well, or volunteer committees, we wouldn't have to mention them, you know.
Because right now, the way the language reads is that the city council may create committees, standing or special, as it deems necessary.
Yeah.
And then it gives a list of examples, but it says including but not limited to. So
Yeah.
right now, you guys have the authority to do whatever you want, you have been doing, and you may create in the future. If you want me to add names of types of committees, I can.
Right?
It's up to you guys, I guess, but you can still, you can do it either way.
As long as you already have the
Clean the way it
language.
is.
Yeah.
If you have the language in there as necessary, that
Yeah.
covers it.
But the volunteer committees are not appointed. Like,
But if it doesn't say we appoint them, it says we can create them.
Yeah.
and then see, tourism's underneath that as a special committee, and that's really not a city committee. That's a joint powers committee.
okay? Again, I can make whatever changes you want to
I'm
make.
just saying,
I would just put a period after economic development and take off tourism.
huh? Yeah. And then we talked about how those appointments are made. They're confirmed by the council, so the council has a final say on all the appointments, but they're usually specified and appointed by the mayor, and then we talked about that.
Again,
Well,
what section are you
that's
referring to?
usually the resolution that comes at the very first meeting in January that's approved
Yeah,
by the
right.
council.
But then the mayor appoints them, and then the council confirms that resolution.
You
My
just,
experience has been every year you guys have a conversation about this, either at the last meeting of the regular year or at the first meeting of January.
Right.
You guys talk about what you guys want to do, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, and then you say, okay, and then Tammy puts it in a resolution.
Right.
The city council passes the resolution.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not just the council members on that, it's the public members going out and finding those public members. And that's what I've done for years, and Randy Furman done for years, and then they bring them back to be confirmed by the council,
Okay.
is what I'm saying.
But that's not
Again,
some official thing that goes in here.
no, it
Okay,
wouldn't need to
very
be.
good.
I mean, that's just what,
I mean,
You know,
if
if
Dave
we
were
have-
to talk to so-and-so and they want to be on X committee, he can come back and say,
He
hey,
can say, hey, yeah,
Yeah.
appoint them
Yeah.
and we'll confirm them. Okay. So are we looking at any changes or not putting anything in other than what's there right now underneath the ordinance 30? Because we got another ordinance too, is that separate? Yeah.
The only change here is just the period after economic development.
yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Is what?
Is just placing a period after economic development and removing and tourism.
Yeah.
Now, is the economic development, and Dave had this discussion, is that a city or a chamber thing, Dave?
It's not a chamber.
It's city, it always has been.
Yeah.
Okay,
The city kind of hosts it and runs it,
okay.
and then everybody is part of it. Chamber,
And those
county.
are appointed the same way as the other ones?
Mhm.
Okay. We had so we're just gonna amend that one small part.
Yep, so you need a motion for that amendment.
So moved.
Second?
Any further discussion on the amendment? Norris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Motion carries on the amendment. Any discussion on the resolution as amended?
As ordinance as amended, you mean?
Ordinance as amended. Ken, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete, yes. And North.
Aye.
Motion carries. Ordinance number 495, chapter 31. Second reading. I'll entertain a motion.
Also move.
Second?
And looking at that, anybody have anything different than last? The draft is in front of you. Is there a reason for adding 3148? Because it's actually stated in 3142. There's a stipend paid. So is there even a reason for adding 3148?
No, I know in our meeting last month, I know you had brought this up about the compensation
Yeah.
to put it in here somewhere.
Yeah, and it was in one place, only there. And
I'm looking at
our,
3142 at this length of appointment, there's nothing in there about compensation.
It's the very
last
last
sentence.
section, very last sentence in eight.
under A,
This just talks about they'll receive a stipend.
yeah.
41, or 3148 actually clarifies how that stipend will be
Yeah,
set.
so do we need it both places, is what I'm saying.
I would, because this one clarifies it better.
Yeah, how's that?
So do we
figured
strike it out from 3142?
Nope, leave the language in there.
Okay. And that's the planning commission. And then later on, they're not having regular meetings, they're just gonna meet as needed. And I do have a not with this ordinance, but later when we talk on something. So, okay, on the second page, on the last page, underneath, I think it's the park commission, is, under 3176, you have it as needed. But the next very sentence, the commission shall establish regular meeting dates. So which one?
Maybe just strike the word regular. But if we take out the word regular, then it would,
Yeah, you can meet at the third Thursday or whatever,
Yeah.
but only as needed.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why, like what Norris is saying, you could just get out, if you really wanted to, you could just take regular out.
Or leave it the way it was? Which would you prefer, Norris?
Well, if they're meeting as needed, then it's not, they're not meeting regularly, so.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why, yeah, if we just take that word out.
Just
then
take regular out.
It would agree.
But they should establish meeting dates. Okay, so you want to amend that, take regular out of the second reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got that, Danny?
Got that? Is that it for the amendment? Just that?
Unless some of that council has any other amendments that they want to look at in this one.
If not, then we need a motion.
I need a motion from you, to amend,
Move.
Second.
and so we're just taking out regular.
Yeah.
Any discussion on that? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have the motion now. Any discussion on the amended resolution as amended, ordinance as amended? Pete votes yes. Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Motion carries. Ordinance 496, adopting supplemental to the code revision, first reading. This is one we usually discard because it's the same every year that we didn't do it. So I'd like to entertain a motion on this one to do away with the first reading.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on doing away with the first reading?
That was Ken and Dave?
Yes.
Any discussion? Norris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
And Pete, yes. I'll entertain a motion for the second reading.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion on the second reading? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Norris?
Aye.
And Ken?
Aye.
Motion carries. Ordinance 490, 6, adopting supplemental code revisions. That's what we just did.
Just did that.
I'm sorry. Discussion regarding the temporary follow-up on the liquor license. That's where Tammy went up to the league meeting.
Yep, and so I printed out their changes this year. There wasn't any changes to temporary liquor licenses, so we have nothing in there. They talked mostly about the brewers, the growlers, and they upped the amount of growlers and the size that they can sell, so.
But I thought I had read someplace that we could give out temporary license without going through the state.
Well, on the form from the alcohol and gambling, it has to be submitted to the state, even if
Oh, really?
it does,
Even, okay.
yeah.
And so that's the update. Any update on what I've been reading on the league from the marijuana?
The cannabis,
Yeah.
the new law?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's one of those that they're gonna be in every store. We already know that. It's gonna be like vitamins, basically, the same thing.
Like
And
what?
It'll be, the availability will be in every store. Per that,
I think you can count on some regulatory changes this next session. I
I'm
would
sure they're
think.
gonna
Yeah.
end up with
Certainly
those.
discussion.
And it would probably be best to wait to see what comes of this, because, well, we can't sell it in our liquor store, according to alcohol and gambling.
Okay,
So-
but anybody else in town can sell it?
Yes.
But I thought according to the league, we could do something citywide that it,
You can have more restrictions on
That's what I'm
where
saying.
it can be. And that would be part of a zoning to restrict it to certain business zones, but I don't know if you really want to open that can of worms just yet, or if you just
Okay.
want to wait to see what legislation does in the next session.
okay. And I'm gonna move H down with the other one as we go down. City manager's report,
Oh, where are you moving?
at the end of the last thing on the meeting.
Under new business?
Oh, no, it's gonna, yeah, under new business,
At the end,
yeah.
okay. Okay,
We should have made that change at the beginning.
No. We don't have to because the chair has the discretion.
I know, I'm saying we should have.
Yeah. And I never thought of bringing it up to you, and I didn't want to
Okay.
do it at that time. City manager's report?
we're gonna be doing some interviews for the city treasurer position real soon, and hopefully we can get that going. The workload's gonna fall back on all the rest of us in the office, including myself, so it'll be a little crazy for a while again. So,
Okay, police activity. You have the Minnesota, you have two there, you have the Minnesota, well, you have the report from the police, and then you have the Minnesota Joint Powers Agreement. Dues.
Those two, the Joint Powers Amendment and the SCJD, and every 3 years, cities have to re-up their Joint Powers Agreement with the DPS, appointing who the appointed person is gonna be for both the prosecution and for law enforcement. So it's just an administrative hoop that all the cities gotta go through every 3 years.
Okay. So, I'll entertain a motion to accept the Minnesota joint powers agreement, and we will do these separately.
So move.
Second.
Any questions from any of the council members? On this one, Damien,
Yeah,
I see that are you the signee?
believe, no, adult-
Because it's here that you're the government authorized representative.
for prosecution, but you guys are the entity that needs to sign off on it.
So don't both Tammy and I have to sign off on that? Huh? Okay. Because I seen that you were the representative, so I thought
For
maybe.
prosecution and Quinn, even though I've known you for 10 years. Quinn's the chief of police, he's the law enforcement contact.
Okay.
There was one that was signed for him, I think in, was it November or December, somewhere around there, I think?
Okay,
So, each, the law enforcement agency and the prosecuting agency, each have to redo theirs, they come up at every 3 years.
so it's not you signing
No.
it saying that you're gonna prosecute on behalf of Milaca?
So that's already happening,
Yeah.
that's just for purposes of my access to the BCA information.
Oh, okay.
And I had to do it for Princeton, for Milaca, for Bach, Forest.
Okay.
Yep.
Any further discussion from council? Pete votes yes. Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
And Dave?
Aye.
Motion carries. The CJD subscription agreement, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Oh, go ahead, Ken, I'll second.
Okay, so I've got Ken as the first and
I'll
Dave second.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Norris, how do you vote?
This again is part of that three-year
Yep.
thing.
And the mayor and Tammy sign off under their governmental unit sign.
Yeah.
When do these have to be back?
They've been flexible, I mean, ideally, if you can get it to be back to me in the next week or two, I guess. It would help, because I want to get them to Karen, I think you guys are the last one.
Are those in here?
Yeah, those are in there.
So we could sign them tonight?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, it would be
vote on
good to,
Here
And
and
then
give
email
them
to
to
me,
you
and I
tonight.
can get them to BCA, okay.
I vote aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
And Pete, yes. Moving on. Parks? Anything from the park people? Public Works?
under there, we have that contract,
Yeah, and we also have the
so,
2022 street improvement
yep.
contractors pay.
So let's put the 22 water meter replacement contract
The mid,
in there first.
did we have that in front of us?
The contract is this big binder that Damien
Oh.
reviewed and said it's okay,
Yeah.
So
so we just need a motion.
we gotta read it over.
You can,
No.
more than happy to have a copy of that. Whole lot of night reading there.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion on it? So this is the one that we okayed a couple weeks ago.
The bid,
The bid,
yeah.
and that's just the contract.
No, it's the
And
contract.
Damien looked it over already. Okay, Ken, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Norris?
Aye.
Motion carries. Public Works 2022 street improvement contract pay request. Is this the final one for Phil?
No, there's always a retainage, yeah.
Okay, so we do have a retainer. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second. Sorry, Ken.
No, it's oh, it's aye. No.
Any discussion? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Before I leave Public Works,
Oh, yeah.
I just want to mention this, those of you that don't get the League of Minnesota Cities magazine, it goes out, it's a really good publication. Our own Gary Kirkby has a article in there about the parks and our pickleball courts, and it's really neat. It's a picture, really nice article, goes to all the cities in Minnesota, so it's good publicity not only for Gary and our public works guys, but people, not guys, and but the city. So congratulations to all you guys. That's a big honor.
Okay, liquor store, she's not here tonight, anything on there? Fire department?
Our golf tournament was a very big success, and we've also been working on donations for our new UTV grass rig / off-road rescue vehicle, and we've received $35,000 in donations so far, $25,000 from Benton Co-op, and $10,000 from First National Bank. We're working on a few others. We are hoping that we maybe can get almost 3/4 of the project paid for with donations.
What's the total cost?
It's around 65 grand.
Okay.
And this is all through donations and grants you guys have written?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for that work. Planning and zoning?
Yeah, we have Steve Haig. Hi, Steve.
What?
Steve Haig is here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Talk about his minor lot split. If you want to just give us a little insight to what your plans are.
So kids are getting an education tonight?
Absolutely. So, thank you for this opportunity, Your Honor, members of the council, staff, community. We're in the process of refinancing and our project up at the car wash. It's a chance to establish two properties, two lots, so that we can get the mortgages square for future development. And then, to be quite honest, future development is getting more and more difficult as we continue to run into the published recommendation by the state of Minnesota on the Highway 23 median at 110th. And with no access from basically 169 up into 110th, any major retailers they're not interested at all. So our options for developing this property with that published recommendation are very limited. We'll probably have to be very, very creative, and will be more, I would say, local and smaller in nature. But this is just an opportunity for us to create the two lots, and as we refinance, to get the mortgages in alignment with the property IDs.
Now, you're going south of the present car wash?
No, the lot we're creating is north of the car wash.
North of it.
Oh, there's enough room in there for another lot?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, before the one building?
Yes, sir.
What is the size of the lot?
I think it's 95 feet wide
Okay.
and 320 feet deep. 320 feet deep.
Okay,
Tammy,
okay.
I sent an individual that's looking for something almost like that to you last week that they called.
Yep, I did talk with him, and I'm looking
Okay.
for my research papers on some of the stuff.
This might be an ideal place.
Yeah.
For that. So maybe
Might be.
put you in
Good.
contact with somebody, so, because somebody contacted me
Sure.
personally
All right.
last week,
Okay.
and I live right across the street down in Stonehaven, so
All right, great.
I'll stop up there and talk to you sometime.
Okay, great, thanks.
And you've been a welcome new owner.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Steve.
Okay,
Need to make a motion?
oh, yeah. I'll make, well, this has to go before the planning commission.
No, it don't.
It does not,
A minor lot split does not.
okay.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion or any questions of him? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes, Norris,
Aye.
Ken,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Have a good night. And the kids found out how boring city council meetings can be.
Yeah, well, it's important to them, this is their piece of too, so, thanks a lot.
Okay,
You have water bottle.
airport,
Yep, so we have Nick here from Bolton and Mink. He's right here. He's wanting to give you an update on the airport project.
oh, okay. Well, we could have moved you up, or both.
Oh, that's all right.
Both you guys.
That's all right. No worries. So our airport or apron reconstruction project at the airport is substantially complete as of July 1st. Milled off the existing pavement, stockpiled some of the material, stabilized the subgrade, paved over it. Just some remaining punch list items. John and myself met the contractor out there, so that will be happening in the coming weeks. As of right now, this is the pay application 1 in the amount of $128,874.67. So this will be one, and we're anticipating one more after this for the final.
And that would pay out the retainage.
Correct.
And have we gotten the money from the state on that yet?
Yes.
We have to pay it and then they reimburse us.
Okay. So, any questions of him? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll so move.
I'll second.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
I'll just grab a couple signatures here quick.
Okay.
Do we need a copy of that?
I will, I'll scan it in.
He'll
and
send me
it
one
over.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Just Pete, sorry about my bad. Okay, moving on to committees, report. Personnel,
Nothing at this time?
budget,
Nothing at this time?
TERS,
Nothing at this time?
EDC,
We meet Monday.
Monday.
We've been talking about this childcare study.
And the childcare grant, first,
the grant.
Children's First Finance is one of
Yeah.
them. And Indeed came out with another one for childcare. And I did take that one over to All-Star Daycare and gave her that information about that grant, because that one is up to $300,000 that you can apply for on that one.
It sounded like Mike was bringing information Monday
Yeah,
regarding that survey and more information on the childcare issue. And
yeah.
we also talked about it at ERDC, about, the issue and how to address it. And there is a group in, I cannot remember the county, they're doing almost like a co-op setup. So it'd be like an all-star, but with like all of us would have our individual daycares under one roof and share expenses, and that's gone pretty well, I guess, so that, I'm sure that'll come up on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
okay? Unfinished business. Jim's Milaca's disposal, we added that, I added that to the agenda on the insurance and the destruction of their,
Yep, and I checked with our League of Minnesota Insurance, and it was $5,000 deductible we have on ours. So, and the expenses, I think, when I talked to Roxy, it didn't come up to 5,000
So
at this point.
can we add into that the other vandalism that was done at the same time throughout town and would come up to 5,000 because the city crew has been busy?
It has to be on city property.
It
But
is
like
city
all the
property.
stuff done in the
Bridge?
park and stuff,
Oh.
On that?
all the different vandalism.
Yeah, this was only a claim that was submitted just for the porta potties. Vandalism for property in the open has to have a dollar amount to go with it. And we didn't have anything like that for just the painting.
What about like broken toilets?
Yeah, we have all of that.
Could that go with this, with the porta potties? You know, in one
Because
big
there's all
claim,
vandalism at the same time by the same,
would that put us
I'll
over?
check with Zach. Yeah,
Yeah,
Because even-
all be rolled together and
Yeah, in one big claim.
covered, it could maybe.
and I don't know why we couldn't put in Mac. That was the vandalism.
so I would have to get the information from you guys as to the date of your vandalism. And then I'll get from Gary the date of our vandalism
Okay, yeah,
and see,
kind of
yeah.
makes sense, because it's all the same, realistic.
Yeah.
Kids gotta do it.
But regardless, we have to pay the deductible, so all this lumping together is
Exactly.
gonna do is get us a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe.
But I think we should pay the cost to Jim's Malak's disposal for it.
Oh, we turn it into insurance first.
Yeah,
So we don't pay anything first.
Right,
No,
because
no,
then the
but-
insurance won't.
Because the insurance
But
won't
then
pay.
we'll end up having to
Yeah.
pay for it,
yes.
yeah.
Right, so,
But I think it's council wishes that this be turned in somehow,
Yeah. and,
right?
I mean, one way or another, it'll get taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if the insurance covers a portion of it, but if, whatever the insurance doesn't cover, the city will.
Right.
Yeah,
and if the insurance doesn't cover any of it?
then the city who's responsible
Yeah.
is mine.
Well, and it's the same either way, because it's under the deductible, so
Yeah.
it's the same amount either way, so we,
Yeah.
the city's gonna pay for it regardless.
Yeah,
All we get with the insurance is a bonus coverage of the other destruction that's gone on.
yeah. So I'll entertain a motion to do that.
I'll make the motion.
So I'm gonna clarify the
Okay,
motion.
yeah.
Thank you. Because the motion on the table is going to be that my directive is to turn it over to the insurance agent for the, I need invoices from you for what you paid to repair those toilets for those vandalisms and all your replacement that you did to those. So I need all of those. And then I also need from Gary all of the invoices for all the vandalism that we went through. So that's gonna take a little bit of time to get those, but then I'll turn all that over to the insurance agent and we'll see
See if we can make one claim.
if it makes one claim. Okay?
And if it doesn't, we pay Jim's and we just,
Yeah, well, we've already
Take
paid for
the-
our repair, so,
right, yeah, that's what I mean, and we just take the loss on those.
And then we paid Jim. It's the same extent.
okay, and the motion was
Had
by,
motion by Dave, but I didn't hear a second.
I'll second.
Other discussion on that. With that in mind, should we be opening up the Brecky Center and do away with the portable potty down there, other than just the camping?
Then you're gonna rent
well,
those.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I go down there and.
we're gonna have vandalism, so we're gonna be paying constantly for vandalism inside the bathrooms.
Yeah.
The potential for someone to burn down the building is also another consideration.
Well, and Gary's concern is that building's rented so much, so the people that rent it won't have a bathroom.
But now we have friends of the library down, I mean, if we have a person down there doing rental,
Well,
you know,
here's another
we got
thought too.
cameras.
If you're gonna have it open during the day, there can be a lock, and I think there already is a lock on it, that it automatically locks at night.
Yeah,
So you would want probably somebody there to make sure after the day is done to check it for vandalism.
yeah.
Because-
And the person that's down there renting the equipment could be in and out of there. And we could develop the Friends of the Park to help that. Because if you'd went down there this week, and if you'd have read Facebook this week on the, people that do not wanna come down there, cause Jim is not cleaning those restrooms porta potties daily. And
Yuck. Well, then we
No.
should do away with the porta potties.
I think we should do away with the
Yeah.
porta potties, open up that, because right now, the campers that I talk to don't know anything about the showers or how to use them.
Well, I was down there today and there's a really big camper down there, so it's showers I'm not too worried about for big campers that come in, because they have their showers within their campers.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember, we have homeless as well. So we end up kicking the homeless out of the bathrooms every morning, and we have that
But it's
issue as
locked at
well.
night. See,
Yeah, we'd have to lock it
there's a
at
way to
night.
have the key to give it to the campers, the push
Well-
button for them to get in there.
You mean the code key for
Yeah,
the door?
The code key for the door is actually only on one door, and that's
Yeah,
the
just-
main entrance
Just the
into
wing,
Ricky.
yeah.
oh.
We don't have anything on the
There is no
door
code
for the
back
bathrooms.
Oh, I thought there was a code on that.
Could
No, we don't have
So,
a
could
code
we
up
do
there.
something like that? I know.
We should
been
do
another-
something, because the campers are,
Other campgrounds where that, when
Door.
you register, they give you the code for the bathroom or the showers.
So we'd have to buy another one of those door codes.
I mean, look into it.
Yeah.
I mean, see what it is.
because there's a lot of tenors down there, and yesterday I gave a guy a ride from Pittsburgh way up north, because they had locked their keys in their camper to ride their motorcycle back up to get his vehicle. So I gave him right all the way up to the wayside station. So,
Okay,
but
so,
I think.
so if I'm getting what you guys want, it's, so do away with the porta potties. So then,
Except,
you would-
except for the one down by the,
and the only time we'd have porta potties would be when there's an event.
well, there's the one down by the band shell. That's always been there for the campers.
So why are they worried about the bathrooms then, if there's a porta potty? Just because they're not clean or what?
No, it's not the campers, it's, Spice Park people. They have no place to change their kids after they've been wet. The kids don't wanna go into the porta potties.
Okay,
We've always had the one down by the,
okay, so just have the one porta potty there,
yeah,
and that's all we need.
yeah.
And then we'll just continue to pay for the vandalism as it comes out.
And then,
I mean, that's what's gonna happen.
yeah,
So,
And then see
and,
about that key
and
lock.
we're gonna be kicking out homeless people.
Well,
well,
not if it's locked at night.
none of
Yeah.
it's stopped back there.
Yeah, so,
It's right in my eyes.
I know, I
Keep
wanted
going.
to, but I
It's
didn't.
driving me nuts.
there you go.
So,
Oh, maybe worse.
because the last,
There you go.
the last 3 days when it's been so hot, I've never seen so few people at the Splash Park. There's only been 2 or 3 people at the Splash Park at a time. I don't know if you guys on Public Works have noticed how few people are down there right now.
Every time I've been down there, it's been packed.
I was down there today and there was a
I've
lot of
never seen it where
people.
the only time there's hardly anybody is right away. Like right away
Yeah.
when it first opens, other than that, there's always.
Yeah,
Oily,
when I was down there at 2:00, it was really busy down there.
Today?
I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
day when it was like 101, maybe, there was not many people because no one went anywhere.
Nobody went outside,
well,
yeah.
anyway, I think that's the wishes of the council, correct?
To look into those things you
Yeah.
talked about, yes.
we took care of Jim, we took care of that, and porta potties. The rec fest update, I've been working with Mary on that quite a bit, and she assures me that the staff can do it, so if they can do it, the committee's gonna turn it over to them, and I'll get that stuff to you, Mary, because there's gonna be some long hours coming up. Okay? Cause I got new ones I gotta give you today too, that called me. Okay, new business, special events, application 125, the 125th, city celebration, lumberjack show, motion for approval.
So move.
I have Norris first, Ken second.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, Ken, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete, yes, Norris?
Aye.
Motion carries. Timber Valley Grill temporary off-premise sale for existing on sale. Is that temporary off-premise sales for existing on sale? This is that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion on that? That's 2 days or, correct?
Yep.
So that, okay. Any further discussion? Pete votes yes, Norris?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Motion carries. Agreement between Mid-Minnesota Inspections and the city of Milaca renewal.
And I've put a different one on your desk. 'Cause we did talk with Dolores had a really good idea to, rather than to have this mid-year, to extend this to the end of the year this year, so it's on our fiscal year. Because otherwise it would have increased 65% mid-year, and we don't have a budget for that. So he was in agreement with that, so this is the one that's
He
before you.
was in agreement with that.
Right, and he kept it at the same 60%.
Okay, because that
So
was,
when November comes around, then we'll do a new one for the next year.
but can we do a study on what we paid for the year compared to that? Because that's what my notes. Do a cost review.
Okay,
And should extend the current one till the end of the year, then have a new one in January.
we'd have a new one in November, so we know what our budget's gonna be.
Yes, but it'd go into effect in January.
Correct.
But in November, we'll know what it costs us over a year period of time under this contract. Correct?
We'll know what it is, yes.
Yeah. My only question about this is, and I talked to Dave about this today, that if they're doing the, well, this is just the inspections, this isn't the planning.
No. This is building inspection only.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with zoning.
Okay, so, okay. I'll entertain a motion to accept and to extend, so we don't really have to sign this,
Yes, we do,
okay,
yeah.
so.
Because his original agreement expires in July, so yes, we do.
To extend.
We couldn't just extend that one,
No, this would be the proper way to do it.
okay, and this is the same literature as we had,
Yes.
okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to,
Second?
Any discussion? Dave, how do you vote?
Aye.
Pete, yes. Norris?
Aye.
And, Ken,
Aye.
there's no place for both you and I to sign on this, Ken. And there's a contract we both have to sign.
Or you can just say a representative of the city if you want just me to sign it.
No, but
Under council director.
According to our ordinance, mayor and have to sign all contracts.
Can't you both sign that line?
Well, we could do that, huh?
Yeah, that works.
I'll just sign up above here and then give it to you now.
Perfect.
We can pass that one down to 10. And then we'll take care of the one for Damien tonight, or who needed one tonight?
We needed the police ones.
The police one tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I send down my agenda?
Mm-mm. No. It's right there, isn't it?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Okay, discussion for Councilman Norris Johnson regarding city employee compensation.
Yeah, one thought that I had is that with the resignation of the treasurer, other staff will have to cover those duties. We're coming into budget season and which is going to involve possibly overtime for some city staff. And I just wanted a discussion about opening that up to reimbursing that overtime should it occur. I mean, that I think would just be the reasonable way to handle that, because it's you can't lose a full-time staff member without a lot of upheaval and a lot of having to somebody else having to take up those duties. So I don't know what the rest think, but I guess I don't know if we need a motion or just to have that, if that occurs where there's overtime hours, that would be brought to the council for our.
Well, usually, I'm the one that kind of approves overtime, so most of it's gonna be mine and I'm salary for the budget.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well,
do you have just a guess? I know it's hard because you don't know what you're gonna get for apps or anything. Like what kind of length we're looking at of time before we'll get that replaced, do you think?
Might be 3-4 weeks before we
Okay.
get somebody in there, and then we need to train them, so that's gonna be really slow and get them up to speed with everything. That usually takes a good 6 months just to get those individuals, inundated with everything they have to do.
Mhm.
So it's a very long time consuming to get them trained, so. And then budget is due right now, so that falls back into my lap.
So would you keep track of some hours or try to? That'd be hard to do and what you.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if it's just overtime,
but yeah, I don't get overtime though.
Yeah.
It's just it.
well, but I guess that's what I'm thinking here, is that perhaps this is a situation where you should.
Well, I can't because I'm contracted,
I was gonna say,
so,
Could it
yeah.
also be Dolores that would end up with overtime though too, or?
well, she
extra?
could have overtime and get paid.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's no big
Just
deal.
looking at
Right.
different
It's
scenarios.
just a salaried person, they don't get overtime.
Right,
I could put in 50 hours a week and it's 50 hours a week and I'm still at the same wage,
right.
so.
So it'll be handled by that we, on the budget, can expect some time from the staff to have overtime?
Yeah, they'll probably have a little bit of overtime.
Huh?
Yeah, they'll have some
Yeah.
overtime. It's,
So there's really no need for any council action on this, is there?
I mean, it depends on if you have something in mind that you'd like to do for me, I guess.
I mean,
I'm working on the planning and zoning, and so is Dolores. I mean, her and I are working together to take care of all the stuff in-house that doesn't need to go to the consultant.
I mean, just because you're salaried, you can't expect somebody to take another and work, do another person's job without having some.
And Tammy does about 100% of the budget. She will have overtime.
Damien, do you see any options in a contract position like
You
that?
can do an addendum to the contract, say, like, there's like gonna be spec work. I don't know that you can necessarily come up with a dollar amount right now, but I mean, if you guys wanted to do an amendment and say, because of this change in staffing, this contract employee's hours are going to be increased and agreed to pay what, I don't know what an hourly rate would be if you were to do an average for what the contract salary is, and say, you know, agree to compensate said employee X amount of money for X number of hours. You can do that, you can do an amendment.
Could Tammy keep track of
Yeah.
her hours
Yeah.
and then you address it at that time?
I mean, that reimbursement could.
I mean, you don't have to do it. I mean, the bottom line is, yes, she's under the thumb, she's gonna do the work, but if you guys wanna be generous and kind and recognize the extra work that somebody's doing, yes, you can.
And that, that would take the form of just,
It would be an amendment to the contract for it to be a one-time payment for X hours because of this particular change in circumstances. It wouldn't be an ongoing thing, it would be basically a one-time thing based on the unique circumstances that the city finds itself in.
sure. Okay. I guess I would be open to that,
Yeah, I think that's
that situation.
I don't mind the
Well, you-
concept of it, my question is that then it needs to be,
Yes.
then it needs to be, I mean, it's a precedent. So if
Yeah.
Gary's short, Gary, and he's got a, it's the same thing. Gary's short a guy, he should get compensated.
But he would get overtime.
But he
Okay.
gets overtime.
But
Okay.
how about the
Yeah.
police who are on the contract?
They get overtime already.
Yeah.
Their overtime, yeah.
You know, a contract job's a contract job. You know, I'm sorry, I have a problem with it. If she wants to keep track of her hours and we approach it at that time, you know, I have no problem with that. But to say that we're gonna do it till we know what hours are, I have a problem with that.
Well, we don't, I just wanted to offer that as a possibility.
As a concept,
And then look at
And then-
what some ideas might be.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
that's no problem.
follow up on it, next month and see where,
Yep.
where things are.
Yep, and we'll get lucky. We'll hire someone in 2 weeks and they'll hit the ground running.
Right.
I'm trying to be an optimist.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay. So, yeah, that doesn't require any action tonight, but I just wanted the idea out there that I would like to follow up on that possibility.
And I think we can look at ideas. I mean, I'd already talked to my wife about what the county does in those situations, and so there's things out there we can look at.
Okay, Dave or Norris, on the previous one, I would like one of you to view, the minutes of June 6th with me when I'm writing up the thing. And Dave, if you can come over some afternoon and we review it and write it up, so that it's just not me writing it up and listening to it. If you're okay with that?
Yeah, I don't care, either one of us.
Well, you're the one that made the motion, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay, so I'll give you a call sometime and I'll get that back to Tammy. Okay, moving back on to the agenda. Resolution 2022 8, executing resolution. And we took care of the minutes underneath there. And under the execution of the resolution 2022, I think that has been already done. And I don't know what is meant by H on executing of the resolution 2222. It's already been done and I have no questions about it. So I don't know why we have another resolution 2229.
Okay, it's my understanding that you had instructed Dolores to put, it's my understanding that you had contacted Dolores and told Dolores to put resolution 2022 and the minutes for the June 6th meeting on tonight's agenda. So that's why I'm under the impression those are on the agenda, because you said you wanted those on the agenda to discuss them. The reason why there is a new resolution that's on the council is because last, I think it was a week ago Wednesday, I received the correspondence from your attorney.
Yeah.
And within that correspondence was the explicit statement that you had no intention of complying with the directives of the city council with respect to the restrictions that were imposed therein. So, when I received that, I had to figure out a way to advise the council and staff and figure out what is the appropriate next step, because the council had made that directive, but the reality is, legally speaking, there's very little power and authority that the council has to enforce that. It can't arrest you, it can't strip you of your office of mayor. I mean, it's them telling you what they were expecting of you, and the statement that that was not gonna be complied with. So I had to think about what would be the next steps. I gave it some thought, I communicated with colleagues, I reached out to the League of Minnesota Cities to get their thoughts on what possible next steps would be, because quite frankly, if employees choose to sue the city for hostile work environment or whatever claims, they're the ones that are gonna have to defend it. And so I wanted to get their insight, not only just based on this situation, but on how they've dealt with things in the past. And so, after much discussion, basically the only thing that the council can do, if the person that's been told to not do certain things has said that they're not going to comply with that, is to basically flip it and put the power in the hands of the employees that have been the ones to express their frustration and their concerns and their feelings about the environment, the working environment that's been created for them based on what they said. So, after much communication with Amber and Pat and Brian at the league, basically what I did is I put this resolution together after communicating with the council members to see if this was the route that the council wanted to go or not. And unanimously, each individual council member told me this is the route they wanted to go. So, based on that, I put together this resolution. This resolution provides a bit more background as to what kind of transpired between February until the June 6th meeting, and the second petition that was submitted by the employees making the same request that was done in January. And basically, so it provides a bit more background, and then within the directives itself, it basically tells the employees, well, first off, it reiterates it's the request by the council. They're asking for your resignation. They can make that request, that's fine. They're reaffirming what they did as far as a prior resolution, and they're expanding it to basically tell the employees. And the resolutions in the packet. I've talked with most of you about what this is, but basically what it says is the city council, or at least the majority of the city council, is telling you, the employees, based on what you've stated are your concerns and the environment that's been created, if you individually do not want to have interaction with the mayor, you don't have to. It's just that simple. And so if you get a phone call, you don't have to take it. If you get an email, you don't have to respond to it. If there's a request for a meeting, you don't have to go to it. And every time there's a communication, if you want to have that communication, you can. The power's in your hands. If you don't, then you notify Councilor Dillon, Tammy, and myself, and we'll have to figure it out from there. So that's what that second resolution is being.
Okay, now, in answer to the letter from the person, and I did state that I would get some consult at the meeting. In answer to his letter, he stated that I would not abide anything that was illegal, that was in those 3 points that he gave you. That
I'm not gonna split hairs with you.
No.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
that was the intent of the letter, is that you guys don't believe that what the council did was lawful, and so you're not gonna comply with it. And that's fine, Pete.
Only certain parts of it were unlawful according to mine.
Yeah, from your perspective, I get that. I understand that, I know.
And I have the right to do that too. And
100% correct.
And if this is a new one, and I still haven't gotten in writing, and I met with Norris, I talked to Norris, and I offered to meet with the individual that you were talking to, with Norris, or any employee that wants to meet with me at that time to explain, and I'd like to have in writing or just have the council tell me how I harassed the employees. And I've never been told that.
You said,
And I
said that at
just a
the
minute.
closed meeting.
No, just a minute. We had the meeting that I was making it unsafe because of the other person that is involved with making this an unsafe working place.
Okay, Pete, at the closed meeting, I think 6,
Yeah.
maybe 7 of the employees
Yes.
came in here and point blank stated what has been transpiring that has created that work environment. They don't need to put that into writing. They'll do that if they sue the city. We'll get that in the complaint. But if they don't have to put it into writing to satisfy anybody. They came in here and told everybody that was up there. And nobody that came in said that somebody else is also causing or aiding to create the work environment that they've been placed into. They told you point blank what was happening and who was doing it. I understand you disagree. You have the right to disagree, Pete. You have the right to have an attorney. You have the right to act and respond how you choose to do so. The city staff and the city council, all they can do is respond to what's happening. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what more to do. But it is.
And to the same point, I'm at my wit's end because I'm not doing
I'm sorry, my phone's yelling at me.
what is best for me. I'm doing what I think is best as mayor and not what's best for me personally.
And I hear you, Pete, and all I can tell you is that the council is doing what they think is best for the city and for the employees.
But don't I have the right to have the knowledge of how I harassed Norris? How did I harass you, Norris? You have never told me. How have I harassed you, Dave? How I haven't harassed you because you weren't on the,
No.
you know?
Well, Pete, it doesn't matter what our interaction is. That's irrelevant to the situation. I mean,
It is, but I was blaming that I harassed you.
Pete, could you just keep asking that question, just keep working down the line in this direction?
Yeah, I will,
Ask,
but I would rather not get into
you
a.
started this right now.
No, just a minute, Mark.
You're coming across as mayor, but I wanna ask you, why don't you own up to what you've done?
Okay, will you tell me to my face what I have done to you personally, and I've offered that, and I've been accused of all and I gotta use the right word, commended, no. I commended all you employees that stood up and talked to me that night. And I asked that I would meet with all of you personally to discuss what you want to discuss, and I'll meet with you personally, but I'm not gonna get into a public dogfight and bring up things that aren't
But Pete, I think
permissible.
I've said it all along, you're sidestepping all this,
No, I'm not.
okay? Keep going down the table. Ask the next person.
Mark, I'm not gonna be set up.
Would you do that for me?
If you wanna meet with me
I don't
personally,
want you to meet with me right now. I would like you to ask the next person in line on this side of Norris that same question. How did I harass you?
okay, if you wanna go there,
I do, because it seems like we're playing the same game every meeting. We're not getting anywhere.
we're not getting
I listened
anywhere,
to you tonight
because all I'm
An
asking.
individual that probably has to put in an additional 100+ hours, but yet you're not comfortable in compensating an individual because they're under a contract. I don't get that. You said in the June 6th meeting, you want to take care of the employees of this city, but you're not. You're not. You're doing what benefits Pete.
No, I'm not.
So move down the line and ask that question for me to the next person after Norris.
Tammy?
Yes. Tammy, how have
Okay. Tammy, how have I harassed you?
You can go back to a lot of meeting minutes, and you can go back to a lot of meetings that are public where I was defamation of character. You called me out, and at one of them, you even threatened to fire me. So there's been multiple, and
I am-
yes, I would have a very good lawsuit against the city.
Tammy?
So. And I'm not gonna get into any more conversation with you tonight.
This is just rehashing old
This-
stuff, Pete.
Yeah.
This
They
is,
all had- They
I mean, you
stated
had that whole time with them, they
Yep.
see it,
They
everybody sees it.
stated clearly what their concerns were in that February meeting.
Okay.
And
No.
we're not going back over this and over this.
No,
We're just-
I'm not going over.
Well, yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're rehashing, you're trying to, and I don't know,
Yeah,
I'm
and
Now,
not,
are you harassing me?
I don't know, Pete.
Pete, all I want to add is that you have created so much stress in the rank and file of this city.
Yeah.
I've only created
And the
stress for one
is
person.
starting to, I for one.
That's not true.
No, you haven't.
Pete, no, Pete,
That's
I,
two treasurers, not solely because of all of this, but it played a part in it.
What?
We've lost three treasurers.
Are the-
Tracy,
Three treasurers.
Jackie,
Are the online council meetings recorded or saved?
yes,
yes.
They could probably watch one or two of those.
oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm ready to pass that resolution, that new resolution. and,
I'm ready to second it.
So I'd make a motion. What's the number on that one?
2229.
20, I would make a motion that we pass
No.
resolution 2229.
I'll second
And it's old news, Pete. We're not going back. And I read the letter that your attorney sent to Damien, and it was quite clear that clearly stated that you weren't going to abide by the agreement. And we have to take care of the city staff. That's number one priority.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to take and make a couple statements. All that he wrote back here was that in his letter, he will not abide by the unlawful restrictions. That's his exact words.
But he didn't.
I got the floor right now. And I am gonna go through this, and I won't rehash old stuff. But those that were on lawful restrictions were that my duties and would be turned over to someone else. You can't turn my duties over to staff members or another council member. No,
The agreement spelled out which
no, I'm
ones.
just talking right now and have the floor right now. And
But keep in mind, you talk over people every time when they have the floor, so keep that in mind when Norris does this.
I mean, the agreement that we had, the previous resolution, 2222, clearly states what you can and can't do, and it was laid out.
But some of those are unlawful.
Well, which ones?
That's what I'm allocating his responsibility to other council members or city staff, which is an unlawful.
That's
It's too
vague. It doesn't specify which one or who or, I mean.
Anything. The other restriction is that the communication, which is also unlawful, that I can't communicate to the staff, that I can't even talk to the staff. That's right under option B that we're allowed to talk to the staff. You know? And at the same point, this is from Damien. As an assertion of the legality, none of the restrictions placed on the mayor's conduct prohibited him from engaging in the activities that the mayor is statutorily mandated to perform. That's right from your letter, Damien.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing in the resolution that they passed in any way whatsoever prohibits you from engaging in what you as the mayor are statutorily obligated and permitted to do.
Okay.
Zero. Your attorney disagrees. Your attorney feels as though the city council doesn't have the authority to put in these restrictions. Whatever. That's his opinion, that's fine. But what this letter is him saying, on your behalf, the responsibilities that you've allocated, you're not going to comply with whatever restrictions or limitations they put on you. The only thing that they did was remove you from the budget and personnel committees, and you have no statutory right as a mayor. No mayor has the right to be on a particular committee. So that's the only thing that they in any way affected. They told you, you can't have communication with staff absent this circumstance. And he's indicated in here that the restrictions on communication are unlawful, meaning that you're going to communicate with them whenever you want, however you want, because the restrictions on communication are unlawful based on what your attorney is saying. So, again, I apologize if I'm getting frustrated. I said, 7 months I've been dealing with this, and it's very frustrating. I can only imagine how you feel. I can only imagine how the council feels. I can only imagine how all the staff feels. I'm supposed to be a part-time contractor, and this has consumed my life. That's how every single person feels so strongly on every side of this thing. There's nothing more that I can think of to do, Pete. There's nothing more that I can think of to do. And it's not just me. If the city's gonna get sued, quite frankly, from the league's perspective, they would rather get sued by you for a purported violation of your First Amendment rights versus getting sued by 10 city employees for creating a hostile work environment.
But see, I don't know how I created, I'm sorry. I know you guys are tired of this, but
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not so.
That's because you don't even think about your actions. You just think everything you do is okay, and it's not. Your behavior at times is atrocious, and you don't even see it. You can be retaliatory, you can be degrading, and you don't even realize you're doing it. And that's what makes people get offended to you, but you don't see it.
I think
you know,
we've had enough discussion, haven't we?
no, you're not gonna call the question.
I'm gonna make a motion that we end discussion on this issue.
You can't make a motion, because
Yes,
I'm
you
not gonna accept the motion.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
Pete, it's not possible. A mayor cannot require debate to continue ad infinitum. If a majority of the city council believe that further discussion is not productive, they can require an action be taken on the underlying motion. No one person can force this meeting to go on until Sunday. So,
You making a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Before you do, I'll just say one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't want, what these people did at the closed meeting took an incredible amount of courage. And obviously you don't, and they're not gonna go through it again. That's the point. We're not gonna make them go through it again and again.
Pete, and it's like you don't even acknowledge our feelings, our thoughts, our points. They just went out the window.
Yep, and
Yeah,
that is obvious.
That's how we're feeling, Pete.
Right.
You're not understanding that, like Mark said, it's about you. You're not thinking about what we did that night at that closed meeting.
You know, you have hurt a lot of staff, and you don't even understand that because you think everything you're doing is right. But you don't understand the stress that you have put on the staff. You don't understand the stress you put on me. And you don't understand it, like when you degraded Jessica to the hilt and threw her right under the bus with that June 6th meeting and had your, volunteer group come and just throw her under the bus for a policy that's internal control that's required by the state auditor, just because you wanted to handle the cash. And it's so simple, Pete. You should have jumped up and down and said, thank God I don't have to handle that anymore. But no, you went on the defense. And that's the one thing you do all the time. You go on the defense.
Okay.
But sure, you'll tell people, oh, you do a good job, but then you turn around and you degrade them.
Norris, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
I
Make a
have-
motion to end this.
Motion to end debate by Norris
I'll
Johnson.
second.
Okay.
I'm gonna declare as chair a recess for 10 minutes. And the chair has the right to recess for 10 minutes.
I'm not aware of any rule under Robert's rules that allows the chair or the mayor to simply suspend proceedings at their whim. I've never encountered that. I've never seen that. I've never heard that. I don't know what rule under Robert's rules you're referring to that causes you to believe that as the chair, the head of this particular body, that you can just stop the proceeding.
I'm gonna call the question on the motion that's on the floor to end discussion.
To end the discussion on which,
And I have a motion from Johnson and a second by Ken.
on which,
Mueller.
2229?
22.
we were on.
29.
We were discussing 22,
Okay,
22.
well then, end that discussion.
No.
No, you already have a motion that approved 2229. That was by Norris and then seconded by Kent. We had a motion to end debate by Norris and seconded by Kent.
So vote on the motion to end debate and then vote on the motion to pass the resolution. And it sounds like it's 3-1.
No, it ain't 3-1.
Motion to end debate.
Norris?
That was already
and
Norris.
I'm gonna guess Dave, you're voting aye.
Aye.
And I'm gonna guess Mayor, you're voting no.
Well, you're guessing, and are you calling for the vote?
I'm just trying
Oh,
to,
wait, I heard the ayes. The motion to end debate on 2022 and 2020, both of them, it's over. The debate is over.
Call the question on passing resolution 2229.
I'll second it. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's already been seconded, so now it's
Yeah.
just to
Oh,
vote.
sorry, yeah, that's right. I thought it was already done. Yep, you're right, I'll say.
So the vote on 2229.
Vote on 2229. The only thing, I'm not debating, I will make the statement after this passes. Ken, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Pete, I am present and not voting.
I vote aye.
Okay, the motion passed, and that's adopted. No debates from here on this. And we will then also not debate it, but I do have one question of the council and Damien. And I know you've been frustrated, and so have I for 7 months. If I come in with a petition signed by employees on any other matter, will this be taken up the same way this has? If I come in with a petition?
okay.
That makes sense.
A, if a petition is submitted by employees, the council should address it no matter what. Whether or not it takes 7 months to address, I don't know.
Well, I'm just gonna say, but if I bring in a petition, it will be addressed by the council the same way.
I would hope that any petition submitted by the city employees to the city council would be taken seriously and addressed seriously. That's all I can say.
That's all I'm asking from the council too. And I'm not debating this, but I really would still, for the safety and the letter that I gave you to give to all the employees, I was accused of not
No,
giving it to them.
that letter that you gave me way back when this, like shortly after the closed meeting, I did forward that to them.
To every
I
employee,
believe so.
because I was
Did I
accused of not.
miss anybody? I missed you? Okay, I'll see if I can find it, Mary, and I'll see if I can get that to you, but
Oh, you
Sure.
but you weren't one of
the first one.
so that's why. Yeah, so.
But
into
they
the night-
got it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, but I was accused of not. And I think you and I should sit down and have a discussion about a couple of those things. I really do,
Well,
Damien.
okay, Pete, I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't meet with you alone, your attorney's gonna have to be part of it. I'm not permitted as an attorney
Okay.
to speak with somebody who's
We
representing.
took care of that resolution. Now am I gonna receive the other part of,
Yep, I'm on it, I'm doing it.
in due manner and,
As
and-
a reasonable time, yes. I'm going to have to go through everything, yes, and I've communicated that to your attorney, yes.
Yes.
I will go through everything, I will figure out what is permitted to be disclosed, I'll redact every damn thing that I gotta do, and I'll dedicate my life to it for the next, whatever. Yes.
and I'll come and sit, because the public can do the same thing. I'll come and sit with you and do it.
No. I have to go through and redact what's confidential, what's not disclosable.
Okay,
Normally, that would be the employee's responsibility to do, but we can't expect the employee to be the one to do that when it's their data that's being requested. So now I have to do it, and I will.
And there's a few statutes that I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
give
know.
to you,
I-
and you know I will,
So
so,
aware.
and I'll seek attorney too.
and then the League of Minnesota Cities is completely out of it as of now.
Oh, no,
No.
you pulled them
Well, no,
into it.
They're aware that there's a potential claim coming from you.
Yeah.
They have
No.
they're aware.
No, but the negotiations that we were supposed to have with them early.
That mediation.
A mediation.
Yeah, that was all done.
Yeah.
Time for council comments before we
Or
adjourn.
just skip them.
No, we won't just skip it.
I got some comments. Pete, you told me you were going to resign this month.
I told you,
You told me.
okay? And,
I'm still looking for that.
okay,
And Pete, I'm really upset. I mean, Damien has spent, any guess, Damien, how many hours you have spent on this?
Oh, since January?
Yeah,
I'll go through my records. I'm going to conservatively estimate that I've put in 60 to 70 hours between meeting time, prep time, phone calls with each of you, phone calls with each of the employees, phone calls with the Minnesota Cities, phone calls with colleagues. It'll take me 10 hours just to collate my time, but conservatively 60, 70, 80 hours.
Pete, he builds the city for those hours. That's on you. And the three treasurers that we've lost, and Tammy's got to cover for them, that extra time that she spends, that's because of you and your actions. And I'm just really fed up with it. I wish you would abide by your word and resign, and let the city staff do their jobs, and they'd just be so much better off.
you know, Norris,
That's my comments.
that's your comment?
Yeah,
And my comment back to you is, I don't think that's a fair comment that those three people resigned because of me.
you were a big factor.
Because,
It is.
I'll tell you one thing,
They all said so.
I know two people that resigned because of someone else in the administration.
Well, that could be.
Okay, and the other reason, and I was ready to resign tonight, but for the reason of Jessica leaving, I will not put the city into the same predicament that they had in 2021 at budget time, because we're entering budget time. And the budget is the biggest thing that runs the city. And if you remember the 2021 budget,
See, this is where you go, Pete.
Yep, see that?
There's
you're doing it
absolutely
again.
nothing wrong with these budgets, and you sit there and complain about them.
okay,
We
We
have-
are
we
within
have workshops.
5% of our whole audit. And you sit there constantly and belittle everybody. This is what you
I'm
do.
not being liberal.
Oh,
Of
you
course you
just
are,
did,
Pete.
and you don't even get it.
You don't even see it.
You don't
Who
even see
prepared
it.
that budget?
Oh, my God. I don't want to hear anything else. Nothing.
Yeah.
No,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A second?
we are gonna give
Well, if
everybody
they wanna
the
give-
right.
if they want to give comments, by all means.
It's ridiculous.
The other
We're
thing
done.
I will say, Damien, no,
No, I'm sorry, I have a monster headache that is,
Okay.
has been killing me for like 2 hours, and
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
apologize, I should be.
the only thing is,
Okay, so we are adjourned.
the acting
We're adjourned.
No, we-
No, not
well,
yet.
I did not call.
He was
Oh,
gonna, I
okay.
think he had a council comment too.
Okay,
So you wanna make a comment?
The acting mayor,
Okay. Is Dave, I believe, right?
okay,
Okay.
but if I'm president, I still have to sign anything that comes before, because he's not acting mayor according to our
For
ordinances.
purposes of this resolution, it is not feasible, reasonable, or lawful to expect the mayor to sign his own censure. So in that respect, because you quite frankly need to abstain, the duty falls upon the acting mayor. And that is why Dave's name is there.
Okay, okay. Wait,
On a positive note, I come back here, and I've talked to several city employees, and it's a different, the morale and everything that you guys are doing is pleasant. So, that's on another side, but,
Positive side, that's good.
so.
I'll look to the whole you, Dave, for going over the minutes of June 6th. And then I will sign that one.
we need to call the vote.
I'm adjourning. Yeah, motion to adjourn?
Pete votes yes.
Well, we got it.
Yep, Norris, you already,
Do we just get a second?
yep, Ken.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.